In this obituary, it was a 2 or 3 minutes TV program, and this is what I saw. I saw a man who was in his late 80s, now had died, and they were announcing, but for some reason they were able to gather his photos. I don't know how they found it. Photos when he was a young boy to a teenager, a young adult, an adult in his middle age, becoming elderly, an old man, together with his grandchildren, and then a few moments on the sickbed before he died. They ran that slide within 2 minutes, and I saw a man's entire destiny run on a slide within 2 minutes. When I watched that, it had an impact on my life, and that's where the scriptures so teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. There's time for everything, but let me tell you, there are, when you buy a product, there's something written on the product, best before. That means if you want to enjoy this product, consume it before certain times. Imagine a man of 45 years going to primary school. Yes, no knowledge is a waste, but as far as I'm concerned, if I'm the teacher, that man will not write exams. I will just give him P and say go, because I know that he's most likely wasting his time there. When the young people are jumping and rejoicing, that man will be thinking of his child. What is wrong with my child now? Seasons. It is a dangerous thing to once be relevant. It is a dangerous thing that in your lifetime you are still alive, and yet your life becomes a warning, not a message. They tell people, if you want to go far, please don't use this reference. You are still alive and breathing. Everybody who finds himself on the stage, you better realize someone left there before you got there, and realize that very soon the light of destiny is pushing you out. Now listen, there is the deception that comes with these seasons of glory. It makes you believe you will never leave the stage for any reason. This has deceived men of God. This has deceived people in politics. This has also deceived parents. They forgot that these children will one day grow and they will be young, and they treated the children in an evil way. Many of them today are old and wrinkled and left alone by angry adults who were once babies. There are nations today who did not take advantage of their human capital to invest in the young people during the seasons of power. Most of those young people are now the thieves that cause mayhem in society. Can I tell you, don't let people pity you out of preparing for great seasons. Sometimes people can love you too much. They will say, this is too much, this fasting is too much, this thing is too much. They don't know the other seasons coming. God says, I want to take you and give you an influence with kings. And the Lord says, go for another degree, go for another program, and they say it's too much, and the devil is deceiving you, and time is going. Don't say there's time. There are people today who retired as directors, CEOs, and yet they may not be able to raise 100,000 with honor, because during their time of glory they did not know that seasons change. There are musicians today, respectfully speaking, there are sportsmen today, once upon a time if you mention their names people will stay awake, but today they can move around on the road and you see them and not even care about them. Why? Because seasons have changed. Is that true? Yes. Once upon a time in this nation, when you mention certain names, once upon a time in Africa, when you mention certain names, as powerful as these great men are, look at men like Reinhard Bonnke, look at men like T.L. Osborne, look at men like Billy Graham. As much as we love them, the truth is, whether we like it or not, according to the law of seasons, eventually they have gone. Seasons. That means, are we learning? So we know that there are alternating seasons in the life of anyone. The moment you see rainy season comes with a letter from dry season. I am coming. The moment you see dry season comes with a letter from rainy season. I am coming. If you receive the season and don't receive the letter that prepares you for the next season, you will be in trouble. The moment you see men celebrating you and saying, wow, triumphant entry, remember, one day the same people will say, crucify him. The moment you see people saying, crucify him, remember that one day John will also stand close to the cross. Listen, if you master seasons, you will remain relevant through seasons. I'm speaking because some of you are in these seasons right now. You can be in a season where nobody knows you. You're a man of God who is being made by God. Nobody knows you, no invitation, no fame, no glory, no nothing. And if you do not do anything with that season, the day your season of appearing comes, prepared or not. You see, do you know, once upon a time in my life, I had the luxury to pray. I could lock myself, even if it's for 3 days, at will, and not come out because I had the time. Today, I don't have that kind of time. If I want to make that kind of time, I will have to go out of my way. Many programs will suffer just because I want 3 days to myself. Changing seasons.